Welcome to Journey On. This is the first of 2025. How you feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, how you feeling so far this year?
Fresh. Yeah, it's a new year. Feeling
Right.
good.
Yeah. Blessed is always a good answer.
I could do blessed too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I said to a friend a couple weeks back, I said that asked how I was doing. I said, I'm running from the devil. And it was kind of an off the cuff, like, because I'd been struggling, there were some
Uh-huh.
struggles. And I like how we talk in our family about not just saying, fine, like there's more. And I really did feel like I was running from the devil. We had a conversation a little while later after it sank in for both of us a little bit. And it gives me goosebumps to think about these conversations. He said, stop running. And we prayed, and I didn't have to run anymore. Like, okay, let's settle in a little bit. And well, yeah, some really cool things are happening. And that's what we're here to talk about, right?
Right. Really cool things.
Yeah. We had a fantastic weekend in Fargo. I'm assuming it was a good message in Fargo. It was great in Bismarck. So, yeah.
Same one. Yeah.
Unless you changed a lot of things, right?
The names usually change. But
Names usually change. That's a good thing. Yeah, that makes sense. The thing that I took, and this really hit me, it was right at the end. John chapter 1,
chapter one.
Jesus came in grace and truth.
Mhm.
You built up on this idea of truth, and there's some I don't know, the word intimidation comes to mind. Like there are conversations we get into where it's intimidating to say the truth. It's necessary, but it's part of that discomfort. I think
Yeah.
that's the more appropriate word, is there's discomfort in telling the truth sometimes. The idea that Jesus came first in grace and also truth, both of those things being true at the same time, helps me. I'm going to go back to last year. It helps me resemble a little bit easier if I can come in with that idea of truth with grace kind of leading the way. That helps settle my human nerves a little bit, and then to keep in mind that we are human and we're going to screw it up. I think
Right.
you talked about the disclaimer in the message. I think that's
Yeah.
a disclaimer as Christians, that we are doing what we believe Jesus would do, and also asterisk at the bottom, and we're going to screw it up, and we need that grace and forgiveness, right?
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And
All
that's
important. Yeah.
that's so important. And I'm glad you brought that up. That's so important when we remember that everything that we're talking about in this Together on Purpose series
Mhm.
is how we interact together.
Right.
And I don't care how long you've been alive or how recently, or it doesn't matter your age.
Right.
When you put two human beings in a situation for any length of time, they are not going to agree on everything.
Right.
There's difference of opinion. Let's take the thermostat, for instance. I don't know that I've ever met anyone that likes the thermostat where I like it, but also it's that grace and truth. And I think, and I mentioned this weekend, it is important, I think, important enough to reiterate that grace is first. Jesus
Yeah.
came in grace, in truth. He's a grace machine, a peace machine, a loving, forgiving machine, and truth.
And truth. And both are equally important, and we lead with grace. I love it. Now, you said any two people are going to have that. Listen, I can do that myself. I can have that dissension among my own rank. I don't even need somebody else to
Mutiny.
screw it up. It's all the extra voices happening. We can do this ourselves. So
We don't need a stinking group.
yeah. And it all comes down to me, and I can't remember if I heard this in the message or if I just heard it in the message, but the idea of love, relating with one another. It's all love, and telling the truth is love, having grace is love, and all of it together. And so all of that message, and the other thing that stuck out, Hitler wears pants too. And man,
did.
Yeah, did. Yeah, I don't know what he's wearing these days, but yeah, so that made a lot of sense, and that comes down to discernment. Another thing that I've heard in the family is the idea of discernment, and that's something that's unique, I believe, and important for how we model our lives. So good things.
Awesome.
Yeah, together on purpose is and we're continuing. Yes. Is there another message coming this weekend?
This week we'll continue that.
All right, what's happening
You
now?
want to talk about it? Sure.
Yeah, please.
This week, actually, we're doing one of my favorite words, which also I believe I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but I think we'll be doing one of my favorite songs.
Oh, all
Um,
right.
one of my favorite church songs or praise and worship songs. This week is the title is Together on Purpose, and then it's Be Devoted to One Another. And then I'm putting also the full scripture is Be Devoted to One Another in love. So you mentioned it just a
Oh,
few seconds ago that
yeah.
love is always going to be tied to all of these things, and I always try and find different ways to say this. Not that it needs different ways, but different ways to say it so people hear it differently. Because there are some times when you say love is all you need, or love is the greatest of these is love, or that's a song, isn't it? Yeah, it
Right.
is.
Yeah. And
We
also
went
a
to the
great
song.
quote from, yeah, it's also a great quote from one of my favorite movies, Independence Day.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All you need is love.
All you need is love. And so it's kind of easy to not really shut your mind off, but not really think of it in context that we're using it. And so this week we're using devotion as an action. So, and
Ooh.
as a matter of fact, we're going to be we are in, what are we in? Romans. We're going to be in Romans 12.
Ooh, love it.
Yeah, Romans 12. Romans is great. So we'll be in
Yeah.
Romans 12. I would encourage everybody to read Romans 12 just in general, but this week specifically. And you know how in, like, I know the NIV for sure, and NLT has a heading. Some of the sets of verses have headings.
Yeah.
And I love this one. It is when we're talking about be devoted to one another in love, it's under the heading love in action.
Oh, I like that.
So love as
in
a
action.
verb,
Yeah.
basically.
So you talked about a song for this one. Please tell me that it's the one from Greece called Hopelessly Devoted. That would be, that's not the one. Okay.
No, but now I have two to choose from.
It's a wise answer and the right answer to say no, but that was
Right.
when you said devoted, that was the first thing that came to mind. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an old Newsboys song called Devotion, as a matter of fact.
Oh, well, that
Have you ever heard it?
fits. I'm sure I have. I may even have it on CD from back in the day. That
Yeah.
CDs were
Oh,
a
it's a
thing, but
fantastic song.
yeah.
Fantastic song. So we'll see. And if it doesn't get played, it doesn't get played. But perfect song for
Yeah.
this topic, certainly.
They all seem to work out, the songs in the
Well,
end.
I agree. I agree.
Say there's one other thing coming up in Bismarck I wanted to mention this
Oh, yeah.
Friday. So today's the 6th of January, and this Friday there's an event happening at the church that seems like a really cool opportunity for folks to attend. It's and I may screw some of this up. So if somebody knows more about it, maybe add some notes into the comments. But it's this Friday at 7 o'clock at the church, if I have the time right.
I believe that's correct too. Yep.
And it's a play that's being put on by a lot of the kids that are homeschooled, right?
Yeah, like a homeschool network. I
Yeah, the
think.
network is getting together and they've got a play coming up. And so we'll probably have a lot of folks from our church, but maybe also from other churches and maybe other folks that are looking for a home.
Maybe
So
folks are looking for a church. Exactly.
yeah. So a good opportunity to show up and see what's happening in our little home, right? That we can extend a welcome to. Now you said did you say you know what the play is?
I believe I do. I believe it's Anne of Green Gables.
Okay. I don't know if I've
believe
ever
so.
seen that as a play. I don't know if I've ever seen that as a movie or a book. I don't know. I've heard it. I've heard of the words that you just said. That's
Okay,
about the
in
far
that
as
order,
far as
for that
yeah, most likely in that order.
I can tell you what I know. I know for sure. I know it's not Greece. I know that.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fair. Maybe another time. Gonna
Maybe
put
another
it up
time when
there.
they start doing the big musicals. Yeah,
Absolutely. I also recommend The Wizard of Oz. That was one of my favorites as a kid to do.
sure.
I was
Yeah.
a tin man. Don't mean to brag or anything, but
No autographs, please.
absolutely. Please, no autographs. Yeah. Otherwise, anything else happening in Fargo? How you guys doing?
We're doing great, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact. Yeah, you ask me that every week, and I'm always not set back, but I have to think because I really have been. I think of the two locations. To me, specifically, it's just one family, so it's kind of like it's family that lives across town. It just happens to be a really
It's a big town.
long
Yeah,
drive.
and I think of that too often when I ask that question. You represent Fargo because you live there. You represent Bismarck because you're the pastor also. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things happening all the time. Maybe another way to do this is just say, hey, approach either of us and let us know if there's something we can talk about here.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some rumblings of maybe getting a game night together here in
that'd be
Bismarck.
fantastic.
Also, I know it's a great thing that happens in Fargo. Any of these outreach things, I know we've got some folks that are working on community outreach in both locations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always happy. Just hand us a note or send us an email, a text, any of those things would be great.
I do have, I want to add to that while we're talking about it. So we have in Fargo, there's a couple of the gals who are, I guess if we were to give them a title, there are backdrop committee. That's not a very fancy title. It doesn't sound fun, but they really do a lot of fun with it.
Interior
design.
Yeah.
Designers. Yeah.
Committee.
Yeah.
Interior
That's way
design
better.
committee. Yeah.
Committee. Yeah. Or ministry even.
Ooh.
And so I know I've been looking at it in Bismarck that we have our black drop, I call it.
Oh.
And it's been that it's appropriate, right?
It is.
And we could probably use a little seasoning on there. So I'm wondering, I talked with Amy, who heads up our, what did we decide, interior design committee ministry. She heads that up, and she would be more than happy to bounce ideas or have ideas bounced off her. She'll come with me one of these times. And if there are any guys or gals, doesn't really matter, honestly, that are interested in helping with that, whether it's, building off-site and coming and assembling or whatever. I think, that's probably our next step in decor would be doing something with the back. So
yeah, that is as far from my wheelhouse as you could possibly get, because I am very, very functional, and our black drop is very functional, and I love it.
It is.
So
it does exactly what it's
to make it look better. Then most I would do is maybe point some lasers at it or something. But
there you go. Yeah,
fantastic. Yep, exactly. So there's people out there that are into that kind of thing. I know we have creative people in our family everywhere. They're
absolutely
just need that opportunity to shine. You mentioned this weekend also, if anybody happens to know the Millers in Bismarck, they are moving soon, and this Saturday is kind of a house cleaning / organization party, I believe. So I mean, I'm not going to give out any personal information here. If you happen to know Zach or Marissa, you want to reach out and maybe give them a hand. This Saturday is a great day to do that. I'm sure they'll be looking for extra hands. This is another one that is outside my wheelhouse because they have cats, and this guy don't do cats.
Are you allergic?
So allergic. Yep. When Marissa moved one time before, I went to help out and paid dearly for it, even with all the meds. So I love the couple. They are a big part of our family.
Amazing.
I'm wishing them the best in all that they're doing with their cats. That's all we've got.
Correct.
But all right, I think that's about all we've got going on right now. I appreciate the time as always. Got any final thoughts to wind us down?
Yeah, I really do. So as I was thinking about last week, I challenged everybody to, before the feet hit the floor, and then you said really, really appropriately, before you even grab your phone, just dedicate your day to the Lord. And I hope people are doing that. If not, please start. It just really changes everything. So I want to continue with that. And because we've been talking a lot, and I would say, I don't know that you could ever talk about this too much. We've been talking about interacting with each other as family. Basically, that's what the one another's is. And even our series prior to that, everything is family and how we see ourselves as a family. And as a matter of fact, this week, I get to talk about one of my favorite sets of scripture in the Bible, Acts 2:42 through 47. I'm not going to recite it because I want people to go look it up. Acts 2:42 through 47. And that describes what I believe God's plan for the church is. And so with that being said, I would encourage everybody in both locations to seek out a group besides the group that meets on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, besides the big group. Seek out a men's group if you want to be, if you're a man and want to be part of a men's group or whatever, or ladies group, or I know we have a couple groups that meet in Fargo, and I know there's at least 2 or 3 groups that meet in Bismarck.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to, and I would even say this, it doesn't have to be and no one would accuse our group of being organized, but an organized group doesn't have to be. It can just be church family, and I say that for a reason, because it can be family, sure, but people from our church family, find another way to connect with them outside the church, because then we're really doing life. We're not just meeting at an organized time and checking a box. So that's my encouragement for people, and I would help anybody, and I'm sure you would too. Anybody that comes, we're going to find you a place to go and connect with family.
And I appreciate that you said it doesn't have to be organized or formal or because there are Bible studies, and I think that's important, right? We do that on our own, we do that together, and there are times that it's just really helpful to hold each other accountable, to talk about how life is going with folks that have a common language, and that's what
absolutely.
that's a great challenge. We're going to keep it going as we continue to grow this year, right? 2025.
Grow.
Yeah, amen. Well, that's it for this time around. We'll see everybody soon or later or both. How about that?
Perfect.
All right. God bless. Take care, everyone.